Welcome back to the podcast for our second guest of the evening. As she is setting up, I'm Glenn Young, owner of Amazon's fitness magazine, Celebrate the Female Physique. Subscribe to AmazonsFitMag.com. The podcast is brought to you by Maximus Posing Suits. Let your inner warrior shine. Custom-made competition suits for victory on every stage. And a new sponsor this evening, Murder Weight, who is a bronze level sponsor. You're not just wearing a clothing brand, you're wearing a mindset. Murderweight.com. And of course, GPS photography and video. Why photography and video? Because of a photo's worth 1,000 words, video's worth 1,000,000. GPS photo and video.com. My guest is IFBB pro Santana Francisco. You know her as PsychoFit _Tana on Instagram. And if you checked out her YouTube channel at PsychoFit _Tana, hope that you subscribe. But more importantly, she is also a nurse, a psychiatric nurse. So when they see the Psycho Tana, that's a play on words. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah. No problem. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Good stuff. Well, let's jump into the nursing part first. You're a psychiatric nurse, and that's an incredible service, if you will. I'm married to a nurse. She's an LPN, but nursing is big in my family. But you as a psychiatric nurse have seen a lot, especially through COVID and everyone dealing with depression and everything. So speak on that for me.
So, like I said, I've been doing psych nursing since 2019. For me, it kind of hits home for me because I kind of psych nursing because I've been through some things myself. So I kind of had some in the past, like some suicide ideation and things like that I was worked through. But I was at the time didn't really know much about that, and I actually just kind of stumbled into psych. Was just looking for a new job, and just somebody had a good opening. They said, I think you would be good for this. So I went ahead and just signed up for it. And believe it or not, I actually, like, in between time would start going to classes with my patients and learn. And that's really before I fully committed to bodybuilding, because I felt like I need to build up that self-esteem, because if I'm being honest, I've been kind of buff my whole life and called me names like, Tana and all that stuff. And I shied away from who I was for a long time. I didn't go hard. Go on those classes, listening to what those people were life, and this is your life. You got like what you feel passionate about, what you was deep inside of you. And I just took that, and I said, you know what? Let's just start going hard in this gym and see what it's turned into. And I've been able to talk to people, and it even gets deeper than that. If I'm just being honest, Glenn, I've had, like I said, I had a suicide attempt back in 2016. So, I had to just try to, it's been steps to try to fix myself. And now I'm finally at this point where I feel like I know who I am. I'm confidently saying Santana Francisco, 2 years old. I know who I am, and it's time to reach out and try to help other people through fitness. And that's my whole goal. So that's why I'm starting this YouTube, and I'm still trying to get it rolled out, but health and all that stuff in the midst of hitting the gym, because I feel like all of those are linked. So
your connectivity, you're
The
sticking a little bit
connection.
on your connectivity. Yeah, on the connection. But we got the gist of it. But that's an incredible journey because you're not just doing it, but you live through it yourself. Hope we can get it back. Okay. Mm,
Man, my connection is. Why my connection so terrible with this thing?
yeah. You're in Mississippi, right?
Can
I can see you. It's
you
just
hear
the
me now?
connectivity is a little slow. Yeah.
Oh,
You want to go back and come back on? Yeah.
yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that.
All right. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. So hang out. We're gonna go back out and we'll come back on.
Just get on my phone. So I got this.
I think it's trying to connect. We still got a black screen on my end. Okay.
Okay, how about now? I think we good
Yeah,
now.
there we go.
All right.
Now let me remove this. There we go. Now we cooking with gas.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Psycho Fit Tana. At Psycho Fit _ Tana on the YouTube channel. But the Psycho Fit is a play on words because she's actually a psychiatric nurse. And before we lost connection, we're back now. We were talking about you being a psychiatric nurse and some of the things you've gone through and how you got into psychiatric nursing.
Yes, sir. So, hold on one second, Glenn. This thing got a echo over here. Hold on.
Okay. This is the whole thing about going live, ladies and gentlemen, because there are advantages and disadvantages of
Yes.
going live, and there are advantages and disadvantages of doing pre-recorded. So,
Man, I'm so sorry about this, but hey, I think we're
hey,
ready
you
now.
are fine. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate you.
Okay, so you said I'm back now. So yeah, you can get it. You said the play on words. We're going back to Psycho Fit.
Yeah, Psycho Fit and how you got into nursing, and then talk about your own battle as well.
Okay, so yes, I've been a psychiatric nurse since 2019. Kind of just stumbled into that role when I was in nursing school. I actually did like psych nursing, but at that time, they said it wasn't a lot of money in psych nursing. They were pushing ER and all that kind of stuff. But stumbled
Mm-hmm.
into it, and I realized that this is where I needed to be because I've struggled with depression, anxiety, and in 2016, I actually had a suicide attempt. Just
Wow.
to kind of go into it a little bit, like I went to Langston University. I was there for 6 years, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to get my nursing degree. I was going to be a double major, nursing and health administration. But I'll be honest, Mr. Glenn, things were happening in my life that I was young, dumb, having fun, and
Yeah.
I had a full academic scholarship and all of that. And 3 days before graduation, I failed my nursing exam and ended up going
Mm.
to my mom and dad. I already sent all my invitations. My whole family's going. And at the time, Langston will still let you walk. And I was like the president of nursing school, a Delta, just doing a lot on campus.
Mm.
I was graduating magna cum laude. And once you fail your final for nursing school, they don't let you walk. So that was
Wow.
it. So I had to go and I guess I was going through it at that time, and that's when I decided, my mom and dad left that night. I ended up going to the lake and talking about I'm gonna try to harm myself in the lake, drown myself in the lake. And I
Wow.
remember walking into that lake, and I remember looking at that moon, and I saw my mom, and I was like, man, this is gonna hurt her, and it just made me turn around. And
Mm.
from that time on, I feel like I've just tried to reinvent myself. I went back to school. I had to move back to Oklahoma. I went back to school, got my nursing, got my liberal education degree from Langston University. Went back and got my nursing degree from OU. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, that's when I decided, hey, it's time to go do some bodybuilding, because during that time I started going to the gym about 2018. And at that time, like, I've always loved lifting, but they had a lot of stigma, with bodybuilding and women and all that kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I've always been buff. I played basketball and stuff, even in college for a little bit. And
Mm-hmm.
they called me Montana and
Hmm.
all that stuff. And it would cause me to shy away from the gym. But now that I would say I'm going to reinvent myself and go into that gym, I just wanted to say, I said, you know what? Let's just see what'll happen. So then I started going to the classes with my patients when they in between time, and building that confidence to be who I am. And here we are now. Like, it's just taking off. It's really just taking off. So I did my first show in 2021, and here we are in 24, getting ready for the pro debut.
You know, thanks for sharing your story, because you actually had a suicide attempt,
Yes, yeah.
and
It's
then to
still hard.
still, yeah, and then to go into psychiatric nursing, you definitely have something to give.
Hmm.
Tell me a little bit, what kind of patients do you work mostly with? Military patients, teenagers, school age?
So it's adults, and it's over a broad spectrum. So I take care of people from addiction
Mm-hmm.
to schizophrenia, suicide ideation, bipolar disorder. Pretty much it's just a broad base of people that, depending on
Right.
where they put me that day, that's who I'm taking care of. So I see a little bit of everything, to be honest. Even like, we'll even have, like, sometimes, people that have been victims of sexual assault, or even on the
Mhm.
other half, we'll take care of the rapist. So,
Right.
it's all of that.
What was it like during COVID being a psychiatric nurse? Because I can only imagine.
Man, COVID, we were busy during COVID, you
Hmm.
would think, and we were the only ones that were open. But everybody at that time, that's when I noticed people, a lot of relationships were ending during COVID.
Hmm.
We were seeing a lot of, like, couples coming in, like, we just can't be in this house like this, and cabin
Hmm.
fever, not used to being with each other that long. And a lot of times, I know on the other side with that, I know a lot of the kids were depressed too. So sometimes
Yeah.
we would get like these 18-year-olds that they're adults, but they're still in school. And we saw that a
Hmm.
lot, where they would come in and they've been like cutting themselves and all that kind of stuff, because don't have that interaction and can go out and hang out with their friends and things like that. So we saw a lot of depression, and it's just all
Hmm.
a result from being in the house.
When you had your suicide attempt, what turned you back? I know you talked about you were trying to drown yourself in the lake. You walked halfway out. You realized that use was going to hurt your mama, but what turned you back?
I really do think, because if I'm just being just transparent, Glenn,
Hmm.
when I was walking in that lake, and when we walking in there, and then it drops off. I dropped
Hmm.
off, I dropped off in that lake, and it submerged me. And I remember just looking up, and
Hmm.
once it submerged me, I think once that cold water hit my face, I realized what I was doing. And
Right.
I just saw that moon. I'm saying, like, the moon, it was a full moon that night. And I just remember looking up at that and just seeing that my mom. And then that's when I just went back to my car. I was crying. I was wet.
Mm.
And but God, woke up at like 8 o'clock that morning, and my mom called me first thing in the morning, and she said, "You need to come home, Santana." And I
And at
just
the time, she
remember,
didn't know anything about what had happened.
she didn't know what happened yet. She didn't
Mm.
know. And she said, "You need to come home, Santana." And I just remembered that, and I just got in my car, and I just left all my stuff and just went home. And
Mm.
it was a long battle, a lot of mental breakdowns at the house. And
Right.
at that time, really didn't know much about mental health services or anything like that. But the turning point for me was when my dad, he had saw me outside, and he said, "Santana, what are you gonna do? Like, we need to go get you some help. We need to go to the hospital." I said, and
Hmm.
I hate to say it, at that time I was so smart and a little cocky at the time, even eat with that. And I said, "I don't need any help. I already know what they're gonna do. I just did in
Yeah.
school."
Mm.
But I took that out. I took that seriously, and that's when I just started. I isolated myself, got off social media, and just
Right.
started reading about becoming more emotionally intelligent because that was my problem. I allowed my emotions to dictate a lot of my decision making. There's no reason I should have failed my final exam. What was it? What was going on in your life that you could not follow through with what you needed to finish? You lacked.
Right.
I lacked emotional intelligence, so I had to read up on that, learn that, and just try to figure out fix me. And that's really what I did because like I had anger issues at that time, a lot of things going on in the background that I was hiding, but I needed to fix. And that's what
Right.
I just got serious about that because I really wanted this was my second chance and I didn't want my mom and dad to pay the price for what I've done or anything like that. So I just got on it. And when I say like I just isolated myself from the world, it was kind of crazy. But that's when I found bodybuilding. I started going to the gym in 2018 in between going to work. And that's all I did, just work, school, and bodybuild pretty much.
Right.
And then I graduated in 21, and that's when I said, let's go do a show.
Okay. And you are women's physique.
Yes, sir.
And talk to me about when you got your pro card.
All right. So I got my pro card at North American Championships in 2022.
In Pittsburgh. Okay.
In Pittsburgh, yep. And that was my first national show. So we only did 2 shows prior to that my entire life. So I was still pretty green. And I actually did women's physique and women's bodybuilding.
Okay.
So and I actually got first in women's bodybuilding too, but just my class. But they don't award that for women's body. They just gave the overall winner, which was Ava. I can't say her last name. I don't want to miss Emilio, but she's getting ready for. She about to do her pro debut now too, which I think she's about to kill that. But
okay.
But yeah, it was my pro debut. I was I'm not my pro debut, but my getting my pro card. I just remember being just nervous and in shock. But everything and those girls back there were big, Glenn. Look here. I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. I said, I remember texting my coach. I'm like, JT, I think I committed too soon. But sure enough, and that's one thing I've learned about myself. Like, I may be the smallest, but those details, that definition is gonna shine through in the structure. So if I could just land my peak, I might actually do okay. So
okay. When you look at the landscape of women's physique, like I said, it's like deja vu. Last year, everything was about women's bodybuilding and women bodybuilders not showing up at the show. And this year's taking a different look. In fact, that it's women's physique not showing up at the shows and everything about the prize money and everything. What's been your take on all of this?
Man, it's really been disheartening to see that, especially after, I've been seeing us like advocating for more shows and all this kind of stuff, and now they're empty. And I understand the business. Bodybuilding is a business, it's about money. So if we're not gonna show up at the shows, and then we're gonna have even less shows next year. But I really do believe a lot of it too. I think it's just because these shows are early. These are early shows too, because you want to prep closer to the Olympia and be ready for that instead of like doing it super early and then you're doing like 2 preps and stuff. That just increases your chances of your body not responding over time. So I'm just really hoping that that's what it is, and we see more people, because that's why I can't really talk mess either, because that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting for a later show doing Tupelo in August. So I could just be ready to just hop into like an Olympia prep and go do that for October.
But then again, it's your first pro show, and not something you want to rush in. But it's definitely something you want to be ready for.
Yes, exactly.
So all goes well at Tupelo, Mississippi, right?
Yes, sir.
Tupelo Pro, and you're from Mississippi, so.
Oh no. Oh
where
no. I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. Okay.
I was the Colony, Texas, to be precise, but
okay.
No.
So
that would be in Mississippi.
Why? Okay, then I gotta ask, why Tupelo and not Sarah Villegas, Texas Pro?
Man, my sponsor
and the prize money. I'm just saying.
I know. Hey, I've been thinking about it, Glenn, because my sponsor is really why he wanted me to do Tupelo. So we go where the money goes. So money talks.
Yeah, you got to go with the sponsor. And in the Texas Pro announcement that Sarah Villegas made is only like like 3 weeks old now, so it came out late, and you've already signed a contract, so you really can't get out of that. But I think it's in August as well. So
Yes, it's actually a week before Tupelo, so that's why I'm
well,
honest.
I mean, hey, you can do
Hey, you
both,
know I'm good. You do.
you know.
I don't
And
want
I'm
to
not
say
trying to
too
talk
much,
you
but
into anything.
yeah. So you know,
I'm
hey.
not. I'm obviously not your coach, but I'm just saying,
Uh
um,
huh.
you want to peak at the right time. So,
Yep.
but
Exactly.
maybe you do it next year. So you're from Dallas.
Yes, I'm from Dallas.
Okay. All
Hmm.
right. So you're gonna drive to Tupelo?
Yep. I'm driving to Tupelo.
How
Tupelo.
long will that take you?
It is 6 hours from here. 6 hours from here.
Okay.
So it's not that bad.
No, that's not bad.
And driving is a lot easier than hopping on that plane because
Yeah.
oof.
With everything that's going on with the flights, the turbulence, and just hey, you
man,
can't lose your bag. I know
man.
from a photographer's perspective, that's my biggest fear. And you as well, hey, you lose that suit, which I know you're gonna have on your carry on.
Uh
But I'm
huh.
just saying, you
Yeah.
got to be there on time, and so that's a stressor too. How do
Yes.
you deal with that type of stress? Usually with flights is water retention. Even driving, even though it's 6 hours and you got to put in the plan to probably travel a day earlier than what you normally would. How do you deal with it? You and your coach.
So, in order to prevent that, we try to plan at least a day ahead for me, so that I can just know this is the plan. So if I have a plan, it relieves a lot of that anxiety. So I'm not just out here in limbo. So I usually tell him like what my flight or my driving plans are. He'll say, well,
Hmm.
eat this meal at this time, just have this ready, and just have it pre-prepared, so that I won't have to deal with any extra stress of worrying about food because usually for me when I travel like on a plane, I got to bring my food to carry on with my dry ice and all that kinds of stuff. So
Right.
I usually have whatever I need to eat, usually like some finger food or whatever we could just come up with at that time to just get me to my destination at that time. But yes, that
Hmm.
I hate traveling. My bodybuilder is a big stressor. Like even
Hmm.
when driving, like that's why I prefer to drive because you can at least stop at a gas station, heat some food up, and do it like that and get you some ice. It's a lot easier. But that the flight in situation, oof, it's just stressful. You just never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. And who's your coach?
It is Jonathan Pelkey, JT Pelkey. He's an IFBB Pro Classic Physique. He actually went
Okay.
to the Olympia in 2022.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I really thank you for sharing your story because that means a lot, and that's going to help a lot of people as well because you came out on the other side of it. That's most
Yes, sir.
important, and
Exactly.
so you definitely got a testimony.
Yes, and that's
Uh,
why I just want to try to use it, and that's why I'm using bodybuilding and all that stuff to just help people because
yeah,
everybody's going. It seems like even now, so with the economy the way it is and this inflation, everybody depressed.
yeah,
Not being able to eat is depressing. So, but
yeah,
I just want people to know, like you don't make that final decision with suicide.
right,
You can change because, like, I just think about it all the time. Like, if I would have successfully completed suicide, I would have died the failure that I thought I was.
hmm,
But because I chose to live, I'm a
right,
totally different person. I
yeah,
am a winner. I'm confident, and I just thank God for the opportunity, and that's why I just want people to know, like,
yeah,
whatever is happening today does not define tomorrow.
right.
Hmm.
Faith and fitness, very critical part of it as well, and all the mental, everything that you talked about. Because if your mind's not right, you're not going to do well in this sport. You
Oh yes,
know,
sir. And that's why I had to
so
take a year off too, between my pro debut to get my mind back right
yeah.
after all of that stuff because you know prep is hard too on the brain and the mental health. It's
Oh
a
yeah.
test, a test of your will and faith and stuff the whole time. I feel like I get closer to God during prep.
Oh yes. Well, hey, it comes with the fasting and praying. So it's sort of yeah.
Yep.
When you look at it that way,
Mhm.
because you are on a fast of
You are
sorts.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So that's great. Thank you for telling me your story. You are 8 weeks out, 12 weeks out,
I am officially 11 weeks out now.
11 weeks out.
Hmm.
Talk to me about your YouTube channel and how people can subscribe. PsychoFit at underscore Tana. Got a lot of great videos out there. I love the updates
Oh well,
and
thank
taking us through this road to pro. So I subscribe right away and loving the content.
Oh well, thank you. Yes. So I just started my YouTube at psychofit_Tana or
Mm-hmm.
psychofit with Santana Francisco. If you type that in the toolbar, it should pop up too. And
Right.
yes, I'm just trying my hardest to stay on the Glen, man, and just try to follow my prep, and also just show how my workout intensity and stuff too, and just show my personality and kind of having fun. Eventually I'm gonna I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with it, as far as like trying to get the mental health aspect in there. But yeah, just please just come, you guys come and subscribe. We're having fun at
You are.
Psycho Fit with Santana Francisco. So just come see me, and hey, I'm just trying to do a different feel, because I feel like in women's physique we need more personalities. Like I feel like in wellness, they got Yarishna and all the little women with all the
Yeah.
millions of followers and all of that, and they
Mm-hmm.
crossing over. I feel like we need that kind of attention too, though, in women's physique to grow the sport. Women's physique
Yeah.
bodybuilding, we because like that's why I love Maggie Marvelous Maggie. I love her. Margie, yes, because
Yeah.
because she has that entertainment
That
aspect.
swagger. It's a shame she
That swagger
retired, but
to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
showmanship.
Yes, so I feel like we need a little bit more of that. So that's why I kind of want to do that a little bit too, so that we can just try to grow the sport in that way, because and so they can see like we're just not these robots in the gym that just looking for just getting ready for a show. So that's kind of like what I want to do with that channel too, just have a little fun.
Good stuff. Loving it. How long? So you just started it recently, right?
Yes, I literally just started it 3 weeks ago, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. And I think you had like 124 subscribers.
Yes,
So
sir.
we got to get that up, ladies and gentlemen. Go out
Do
there and
we
subscribe
do?
to her YouTube channel. I hate to go, but I was just messaging Sheena Oleg because we were running a little long. But I
Okay.
want you to come back on. Uh, Let me know. Give me a date in July as we get a
Okay.
little closer. I
All
want you to
right.
come back on. And the other part to discuss is when you're flying in for a photo shoot.
Okay, all right. We can discuss that. It will probably be,
Yeah,
I'll be honest, probably after this
that's fine.
show.
I
Okay.
don't want you to mess up your show,
Yeah,
but
yeah, okay.
I just want you to get it on the calendar because we're gonna have to see this magnificent physique, and
All
we got to
right.
get that. We got to get that in the magazine.
Okay,
Okay,
yes, sir. I'm with it.
so keep me informed, and I'll hit you back later tonight, Ashley,
All
and
right.
stuff. All right,
All right.
Psycho Fit
Psycho fit.
underscore Tanner. The
All
psycho
right.
wasn't what you guys thought, but now
Mm-mm.
you know, and it's an incredible story that you told, and you're gonna inspire. You definitely inspired me. You're gonna inspire so many others, as everyone is suffering and dealing with mental illness.
Yes.
So thank you for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks for the opportunity. Good
Hey, of course, stay in
night.
touch. Bye. Up next, Sheena Oleg. We're gonna dip off of here real quick, and then I'm gonna go get on again so y'all can so we can talk to Sheena Oleg, who's getting ready for her show. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in a few moments. Literally.